My name's Melinda Boss. I'm the founder and chief investigator of the Lacta Research Group based at the University of Western Australia. The hypothesis is that when you compare lactation to other organs in the human body, the vast majority of our care is experience-based rather than evidence-based, and we believe that the difference in lactation when we compare it to other organs is that we are lacking the evidence base together with that experience. So LactaMap was developed to provide evidence-based information for doctors to use during their care of women and infants with difficulty breastfeeding. We had doctors, a paediatrician, lactation consultants, pharmacists, dietitians, lactation researchers, such a large group providing input into the content development. The content is large. One of the first things we did was define normal function, because it's very difficult to diagnose dysfunction if you don't have a full understanding or a clear picture of what normal function is. What it is that we mean by the word normal. We have defined it in the biologic sense, which means normal function is a well-integrated function that doesn't require medical intervention or support. That's distinct from population averages. Unfortunately, with human lactation, we have a situation where most mothers and infants are unable to achieve normal function. By that I mean, if we look at what the recommendations are for breastfeeding, it's that women and infants exclusively breastfeed for the first 6 months after birth, and then to continue to breastfeed during the introduction of first foods for 1 to 2 years after that. If we look at our statistics, our data, that's not what most of our society are achieving. And that's not that breastfeeding is being abandoned lightly. There's a lot of reasons why this is occurring, but one of these reasons we believe is a lack of evidence base to support care when something goes wrong. So that's what we set about developing. LactaMap contains a huge amount of content. We have 112 clinical practice guidelines in there, as well as supporting information, patient information documents, and a whole section providing more information around normal function. It's free. Anyone can access it anywhere in the world. It just requires registration. So you enter in your email address, choose a password, you'll get a link to click on to verify your email, and then once you've done that, you have access, you're in. It's a website at the moment, but an app is under development. The app couldn't start development until the website was live, so now that's started, and we hope to have an app for mobile devices available within 6 to 12 months. They can, for a specific diagnosis, look at what the evidence is around that and use that to help devise care plans, or if the user has feels a little more at sea about where to even start. There's a care pathway in there that helps the clinician to navigate to what might be the likely relevant practice guidelines for that scenario. It is freely accessible, so time will tell. We only launched last week. We've got more than 350 registered users prior to talking today. It'll be interesting to see how we proceed from there, but the wealth of content in LactaMap is well suited to development of education, evidence-based breastfeeding education at the postgraduate level, at the tertiary level, at the school level, and for families. So that's certainly one area that we would like to expand upon. And then the other area is objective tests for function. There is some research, and there's more research every day becoming available that helps us to provide some reference ranges. And in fact, last year we published a paper as a first attempt towards defining some reference ranges to help define normal function. And we're piloting the application of these tests in the clinical setting, and we would like to see a future version of LactaMap that provided the framework that to allow clinicians or other health professionals to deliver these tests. Then there's the preterm setting. We would like that's a whole nother setting because Lactamap is for term infants from birth to 2 years of age. Preterm is a whole nother scenario, so that would be a lovely another area. I could go on.
Can mothers access it as well?
Yes, they can. In some ways it would be lovely if mothers actually drove the uptake of Lactamap with their health professionals. It gives us the ability to translate evidence directly to practice. We talked earlier about how long it's taken to create Lactamap, but now that we've done it and we've devised the methodology, which is still a work in progress, it's relatively simple to have a rolling, ongoing review of new publications so that Lactamap can be continually updated and is essentially living in terms of what we're delivering to the user.